Well, howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump stopping aid for Ukraine. In what appears to be part of Trump's ever-growing march to reduce U.S. power and weaken U.S. influence, it looks like the U.S. Department of Defense is halting a lot of shipments to Ukraine. It's leading to some interesting maneuvering from Ukraine, and when it's all said and done, will lead to a Ukraine more aligned with the developing European power bloc than with the U.S. So, facts first. DoD is conducting what it's calling a capability review. The stated idea is for DoD to review, quote, its own capabilities to ensure when it opts to provide aid to other nations, it never shortchanges itself in the process. Some have suggested this is simply a cover because the administration dropped the ball on keeping up with production of things that are used in large quantities. I have no problem believing the administration dropped the ball, but I would point out that there's reporting that says some of the halted munitions were approved for transfer and had already made their way to Poland. So it's not that they don't exist. It's still an open question as to whether the administration dropped the ball on production and then also dropped the ball on sending munitions they shouldn't have because they're needed in U.S. stores. There might be a more political reason as Trump's mood changes. Senator Jeanne Shaheen of New Hampshire, who is the ranking member of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, said, quote, the Pentagon is significantly weakening Ukraine's defense against aerial attacks, even as Russia pounds Ukrainian cities night after night, with numerous civilians dead and wounded. President Trump pledged just last week to look for additional air defense systems for Ukraine, but Secretary Hegseth and Undersecretary Colby seem to be ignoring him. If there is a real concern over stockpiles, the administration should consult with the relevant committee in advance. The Trump administration's mixed messaging is undermining its own agenda to bring Putin to the negotiating table. And this move under Secretary Hegseth's leadership will only make a just and lasting peace harder to obtain. In his role as National Security Advisor, Secretary Rubio needs to maintain a cohesive strategy toward Ukraine. Now is not the time for rogue actors undermining our national security interests. That certainly sounds like she believes SecDef isn't listening to the directives of the president. The bit about weakening Ukraine's defenses is there because some of the munitions are for air defense. Others are 155 shells and HIMARS. These are munitions Ukraine needs. They're also munitions that are gone through quickly, and the administration might have been more concerned with parades. For its part, Ukraine is reaching out to more reliable European allies to see if there's a method of having European nations buy the supplies and transfer ownership to Ukraine. The European purchasers would need U.S. permission to transfer ownership in most cases. The short version here is that we have another erratic move on the world stage that damages the credibility of the U.S. The main difference here is that we aren't exactly sure why it happened yet. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.